Well, I'm joined now by Alan. Alan's one of the managers here at WHTC Collective. Alan, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Now, you folks have been around for a little while. It's really fascinating to see the business model that you have here. We've been here for a couple hours filming this program. We've seen just dozens and dozens of people coming in here. Your staff is very helpful to them. Tell us about the history of your company.
So we're a family-owned business, started by my mom and dad around the time that my grandmother was diagnosed with breast cancer. My mom was looking for alternative medicines and just ways to help my grandma that weren't so tough on her body because she wasn't reacting well to chemo. So we resorted to cannabis, which really helped with her nausea. And I think that just inspired and drove my parents to take this upon themselves to help others. So little by little, we grew as a family business from a small little store in Woodland Hills to running a pretty full-scale dispensary now and fully managed by the family.
You know, that is a fascinating story. I was not aware of that. So your grandmother had cancer, and this was the reason that this is all here today.
Mm-hmm. That's why our mission statement is here to help and here to heal.
Now, of course, you know, right now this is a medical collective, but that's how it is in California. Sometime in 2018, when the licensing gets all figured out in Los Angeles, these cannabis collectives are going to turn into recreational.
Or both.
Or both. Mm-hmm. How do you think that's going to change the business?
I think it just exposes us to a greater variety of people. As of now, we've really been trying to service medicinal patients, people that need cannabis to deal with ailments, whereas I think the recreational market is really going to open up to just normalizing cannabis and not making it such a taboo issue.
Now, do you suppose, I mean, I'm asking you questions you may not be prepared for, but ask them anyway, but will you need a separate showroom for recreational that you would be for medical? How will that work?
To my understanding, no, we wouldn't need a separate showroom as much as it comes down to taxing. So when you're checking someone out in the point of sale system, you would have to designate them as either a recreational patient or a medicinal patient because they'd be taxed differently. And the products that they're allowed to purchase or donate for, if they're medical, are different limits.
Now, of course, you started out with such a noble cause, your grandmother, as you mentioned, and you've been medical all this time. That's what is legal. Do you anticipate going recreational as well?
I do, when we're allowed to, absolutely. It's not going to happen as of January 1st.
No, of course not.
We're going to have to apply to have a recreational license on top of our medical license, and the whole bureaucratic system is going to come into play, and obviously the regulators are stepping in, and things are going to be a little more difficult at first, but I think they're just growing pains towards normalizing this whole industry.
Yeah, I've heard estimates of anywhere from April to June or even beyond that.
Exactly.
Now, a few moments ago in the program, we demonstrated a potential Bitcoin payment of cannabis. I mean, it's not available yet, won't be available till next year, but we wanted to show people what that would be like. How do you think that's going to change the industry? Because right now, of course, everybody coming in here is paying cash. If they want to use their credit card, they have to be turned down. They go to the ATM machine, which you have on premise. But how do you think cryptocurrency is going to change the industry? Well,
that was a neat demonstration. So I would say definitely speeds up the process. I think it also would legitimize the industry in terms of making it easier to be bankable, going from just dealing with cash and having difficulty dealing with the banking system to having a cryptocurrency that doesn't have to go through a centralized bank where it's us to them, them to us. I think that could be kind of a streamlined system for our industry.
How many times a day, potentially, does someone come in here? And I know we've seen dozens and dozens of customers come in the couple hours we've been here. Patients, excuse me. But how many times a day does someone just absentmindedly give you a credit card thinking they can buy it that way?
All the time.
All the time. Yeah. And so this is something that customers are already prepared for, to do something electronically. You would be open to this if it became available?
I think if it became more normalized, and I think Bitcoin is going to find kind of its center where it's not going to be so volatile once things stabilize. Yeah, I definitely think there's room for it in our industry, and I think in the world, just in normal trade, day-to-day purchasing, I think the cryptocurrency is kind of the future.
It's WHTC Collective here in Los Angeles, talking to one of the managers, Alan. Alan, thank you so very much for your comments.
Thank you so much for having me.